Hello and welcome back to another exciting episode of No Quest for the Wicked Gentleman. I have two very important questions for you. First, are you ready to rock?
Yeah.
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 More importantly, are you ready to roll?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. I have so much energy today. I'm in a good spot. Let's do it.
Let's go. Where we last left off, you guys landed on Synonus Prime. You were attacked by the
Double
Sarkisian. Yes, there was a double-headed bird that attacked you. But more importantly, there seems to be a strong invading force of Sarkisian mercenaries and bloodletters that seem to be, you found a small device on them that seemed to be hired by Cadrical's Keepers, the human supremacy group that seems to be obviously tied to the mysterious entity known as Cadrical's Eyes. It doesn't seem like they are operating under the Ministry of Defense. It seems like they're there for a tertiary reason. And you met Cathan's brother, Jorhara, the commander of the Synonan Armada. He saved you guys from an ambush, brought you back to the Synonan Palace, and you guys are now kind of in Synonan custody, where you then re-met with Astrid and Thimble, who were there sort of on their own mission, trying to find Astrid's father, which seems to have been a dead end. Thimble informed you that Penny is most likely Peniteris, which is the Valai that worked pretty much solely on the Eris shuttles back on Earth.
Okay. Do we know what happened to Peniteris?
No, I mean, once the Eris reactors were made, all the Valai just disappeared, just like vanished.
I'm just going to guess Meso torture and study. Is that probably what made her crazy, you think? Made her off the edge?
I would find it very difficult that a human man who had never learned of magic or very, very, very mortal could overpower a Valai.
That seemed to be what Penny said, though.
You hear heavy footsteps approaching from the same door that Thimble and Astrid came from. And Jorhara stands in the doorway and says, I think it's time you meet someone. Follow me.
I love new friends.
So many friends.
And he begins leading you down a hall. You get to a door and he stops and he says, they wish to speak to you. I want you to know right now that if it was up to us, you wouldn't even be here. I want you to know right now that you would not know they are even here, but they have asked it of us, and so we are granting it. And he presses his hand on the keypad, and the door slides open. And in front of you is a white pearlescent figure about 7.5 feet tall. If you think of like a lizard man kind of thing, like that's the idea, where he's got like those big thighs that like buckle under, and then his calves go underneath. He's got these three big toes and one long heel, so it's like this 4-pronged foot. On his arms, there are small fish-like fins of like purple and pink, and that's kind of the only color that is on him, other than this sort of like rippling pearlescence of his skin. His arms are long, and his hands are elongated down past his waist, almost to his knees. And once again, they are like a 4-pronged, almost, it looked like they could be webbed without the webbing. His face is again elongated down, almost like a beak, but it rounds out. There's no features. There's no mouth. There's no eyes. There's no nose. There's no ears. It's just a smooth, curved face that rounds out beak-like, and a small sort of like cap at the back. It just kind of like pops out on the back, almost like a pterodactyl face.
That's exactly what I'm picturing. Yeah.
Or like
Fucking
alien.
I hate this.
Xenomorph?
Kind of like a xenomorph, but
Smooth xenomorph?
This feels fucked.
a lot thinner, a lot more narrow. It's not as big. And then he has these 4 tendrils that come out of his back that look like they should house feathers or wings, but there's nothing on them. They're just these sort of like featherless or wingless like tendrils that come out of his back. And he extends his hand out to you with a greeting. Hello. It is good to officially meet you in person.
Long time no see.
Hello, Mr. Valai. I shake it.
Please, call me Eridaxus.
Okay, Mr. Eridaxus Valai.
How have you been keeping, Eridaxus?
I would say well, as I still am alive, but as you can see, there is much to be troubled about.
Agreed.
We're alive, too.
Yeah, we're still alive.
I see that, and it pleases me.
We met an old friend of yours.
That is why I've asked to see you.
Okay.
Okay. Durrin's just watching. Durrin feels so sus about this. Feels weird. I want to do a sense motive on him just to get the
Sure.
vibes, you know?
Yeah.
I'm doing a quick vibe check.
Durrin's
25.
special ability, vibe check.
I have the feat, yes.
25 is enough to know that he didn't know he was meeting you until, like, just recently.
Okay. Interesting.
I don't know how to, like, put that into, but, like, you get the vibe that, like, this was not a planned meeting. Like, you are not here because of his sort of, like, machinations. Yeah.
Okay.
This is a surprise to him as well.
Well, shall we take a seat, catch up?
I can't help but ask, but normally you would be changing for us, if that makes sense.
You looked different before.
Yeah.
He cocks his head sideways and sort of, like, takes in the fact that you are all looking at his head.
Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to offend.
No, it's more the fact that, like, you're all looking at the same spot.
Yeah.
Because when you look at Thimble and Astrid, they're both looking somewhere different.
Oh.
What?
Astrid seems to be looking sort of at eye level, and Thimble's looking up a little bit, but not as high as... It looks like she's looking at his chest almost.
Oh, so it's only us that are seeing that. That's interesting.
And when he looks at you and realizes what's happening, he says, "Oh, you can see my form." And he raises up a hand and sort of, like, traces it in front of you as you, like, kind of follow his hand where it actually is. And he says, "Interesting." And Thimble and Astrid are standing there kind of in stunned silence, and he takes a step forward and he says, "We have not yet had the pleasure to meet. My name is Eridaxus." And he extends a hand, and when he does, you see a ripple of purple energy that kind of, like, shimmers out of him as a sort of ghostly apparition hand reaches out and shakes Astrid. And you can tell that's probably the form that she's seeing. And the same thing happens with Thimble as well.
Why can we see you? Because you used to look like Diane Lane. And now you don't have a face.
If I had to guess, I would say that it is because you have connected quite intensely with one of my people.
I wouldn't call it connecting.
Regardless, Penteteris was inside you, and that has, I guess, inoculated you to our psychic reverberations.
Okay. I don't even know where to begin, Eridaxus.
Yeah, there's a lot of questions about that, but...
Well, now we know about Penteris, about Penny, being one of the driving forces behind the conflict happening in this system. Do you have anything to add about that? Last time we met, you said you were the last Valai. That obviously was not true.
Did you know about it at all?
I do not think I was incorrect saying I was the last Valai. As I told you before, when we make our choice to trade our lives for others, echoes of our soul remain. It is the whispers in the ship that people hear. It is the spirit of Kaya. We linger to watch, to know that our legacy is that of grace, of guidance. We know that our sacrifice was not for naught. And I worry that whatever Penteteris sacrificed herself for has trapped her.
Do you know what she became?
Oh, that's such a good question.
I do not. When we found... and he stops for a second, and you can tell he's, like, figuring out, like, what part of Valai history to, like, start with. And he says, "As you know, we were cosmic observers. We were entities in the fold that watched and maintained balance. We were the ones who, when we saw a cosmic shift in the universal balance, we alerted the powers higher than us. Some call them gods. Some call them just the cosmic forces of the universe. And those balance discrepancies were corrected, oftentimes with catastrophe, genocide, destruction. After a while, I grew unable to watch another people be erased from the ledger of the universe. And I broke my pact and intervened. That was met with even greater catastrophe, as we learned that saving those that are meant to die comes at a cost, and I did not pay it. At that point in time, I was exiled, banished from the fold, not allowed to return to my people. But one by one, the Valai stood with me. They exiled themselves as well, abandoned the fold, and we set out on our own mission, still agents of balance, and we knew that in the cosmic scales, our souls, our existence, weighed heavier than those of the mortals, and in our greater numbers, we were more powerful. At the beginning, we were able to save planets, systems, with a single life. But as our numbers dwindled, we realized that the toll and the cost would get greater. By the time Penteris found Earth and the plight of humanity, we were only a few, and our power and our influence had dwindled so greatly that a single life was only capable of making a ship, and I rejected that cost. But it was Penteris who reminded me that one life was still worth saving thousands. It was her steadfast dedication to the people of Earth, to the humans, that we dwindled our numbers even greater. After saving Earth, we decided as a people that we would disperse. We would experience life, we would experience the universe, and find a cause that meant something to us. Even if it meant a one-for-one trade, we would choose who, where, why, and finalize our mission of balance. And over the time, I felt my brothers and sisters disappear until I was the last.
Do you know what happened to any of them?
We used to have a strong psychic bond, but again, as our numbers dwindled, so too did our power. We were connected by our names, which is how I found you the first time. When you spoke of Kaya, when you uttered her name, I saw you, as too do I see everyone on Goa. But now, you speak of Penteris, a name I have not heard since we left Earth, and I realize that she could be, what we're looking for.
Certainly seems that way. What did she do at Meso?
Yeah,
Because she never became an engine, right?
That's probably the biggest question. They seemed, now that we know her real name, they seemed intimate to a degree.
I do not know. She went her way and I went mine, and that is our connection at that point was so weak that I can only feel her when her light went out.
When was that?
Oh, that's another good question.
He thinks, and he says, time is not the same for Valai, but it was not that long ago.
Okay, so I'm guessing
60 years?
He stops and thinks, and like you can see he's like really having a hard time like conceptualizing time in a way that you guys would understand.
Okay, wait, I got it. How many human generations?
He thinks and says, it would be about one.
Okay.
So,
Well,
60 to 80,
okay,
90, 100 years.
That kind of gives us a little bit of a timeline. Okay.
All right. The past is all fine and dandy, Eridaxis, but I am quite curious as to why you're on Synonus Prime and how long you've been here. Once again, back to time questions, so you don't need,
Someone get this Alaya calendar.
I have not been here long.
Okay.
As we learn of this threat, as I find out that Valai blood is being weaponized and used as a gateway to, either intentionally or otherwise, to harbor an evil, a disease, one that threatens the balance of the universe, it is my responsibility as the last Valai to make sure that those scales are not tipped too far. This will be my sacrifice. This will be what I give my life for. I need to find what is poisoning the psychic echoes of Penteris.
That seems to be a similar goal to us, so We can definitely keep that in mind as we move forward.
Do you know where she is?
No. As I said, our psychic connection was lost as our numbers fell. And I can feel her now in this room. Her presence is here.
We have some of her blood.
Oh, is it that you're sensing?
We have a lot of it. We have a whole engine. Actually, that's probably someone else. But
Yes, that 100% someone else, but...
we have a lot of blood of your friends. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, and there's the plant on the ship too. Wait, holy shit. Hold on. Is he spelling the plant? Is that what's happening?
Plant should not be Peniteris. I've been carrying Peniteris around and reading her stories this whole time. I'm quitting. I'm
That
done.
would be. That's why I'm asking, because that would be the wildest thing to happen.
No, that was a shaving of Kaya, a completely different person. The way that every Eris reactor is another person. I can feel Peniteris here.
But Peniteris, it could be my silver liquid. I take out my vial.
He goes over and takes it from you and cradles it as if it's a baby, a living thing. He even supports. He has a hand hovering under his other hand as if to give it extra protection. And he says, "My dear sister, I'm sorry that this is the pain you are in." And he wraps his hands around the vial and returns it to you.
Thank
you
you.
get this wave of sadness from him.
Can you give us anything of why this is also her? You say she's in pain. What does that mean?
Well, I'm assuming wherever this blood is being harvested, it's from whatever she turned into or became. I do find it preserved that she also has a form that can move around, so I don't know if that's just psychic Valai stuff. Or when we saw her with Meso, was she herself or was she taking over somebody? I forget.
She was taking over Meso's wife.
Ah, yes. Okay, so we have not seen her physically.
No. So for the two times you've talked to her were through Satir and Helena.
Yeah. So we have to find Penny. And I only know one person that might have an idea as to where she is.
Yeah.
I have so many questions. I think... Do you know Alpha?
He stares blankly at you.
Meso's son?
I am not even familiar with Meso. I am aware of his involvement in the Valai human collaboration, but I was never really a entity on Earth.
He had a son, and his son made me, and I need to find him. So okay.
What's your sensing Valai blood powers like? How distinct can you be? How
I don't
accurate?
I don't want to say this in character because I don't want it to actually be a lie. But can you turn into a detector real quick for us? That's very rude. But you know what I mean.
He's like, yes, this is my sacrifice. I'm like,
Yeah, right. That's what I mean.
He says, I am able to sense psychic presence. I knew that Kaya was on your ship, and I did not personally know your engine, but I can sense when they are near.
So can you tell when people are influenced?
That would be difficult.
Okay. We have a friend. I have a friend. I know somebody. Who
Is Jahara still in the room?
Jahar is absolutely still here, for sure.
Okay.
I know someone who seems to be very in tune with the silver liquid. He utilizes it as his own, changes shape, forms himself into liquid. Do you know anything about that? Or how a being like that comes to exist?
Does the name Azan mean anything to you?
I do not know the name, but
Okay.
the idea of being able to manifest or wield our blood would be a feat a human should not be able to handle. Certainly not a mortal.
Azan is a super space vampire. Knew it. 100%.
Maybe a Valai found him and sacrificed themselves to give him this ability. To save him some way. A one-for-one trade, like you said.
We're just getting more questions, I feel like. Why are you here, Eridaxis? Why Synonus Prime?
It seems the safest.
Okay, that's fair.
I know that the Ministry of Defense of Casamal has been utilizing weaponizing our blood. As the only planet not engaged in the Federation of Councils, I hoped that Synonus Prime could be a place that I could ground myself and examine what is happening in the system and use it as a base of operations. The Synonans have been gracious, helping me.
What about Astrid's dad? Do you know him? She's been looking, and it seems like some kind of Valai mystery led him away.
Yeah, you would definitely be the one to know.
He turns around and paces around the room for a second, and he says, "Yes, I know Jonathan Aurelius. I was the one who called him to the fold. I was the one that reached out to him because I thought he was ready. I thought..."
There's a lot of thoughts here. Are you implying he wasn't ready?
"I thought I could make another Valai.
Time out. You can do that?
I thought it was possible. Jonathan Aurelius made many sacrifices. He worked tirelessly to better the system. I saw in him the core convictions of us. I was not eager to change him physiologically. I wasn't trying to make him literally a Valai, but I was trying to assemble a group of people that could carry on our mission. But somewhere along the way, he was lost."
What does that mean?
"I fear that the psychic reverberations, the echoes, the soul echo of his ship had mixed with mine and perhaps was too much for the human brain to comprehend. I worry that during his travel to the fold to find me, he succumbed to madness."
I want to look at Astrid while this is all talking out. Like, what does she look like with all of this?
Give me a sense motive.
Yeah, we'll do.
It's a 1.
Dirty 30?
She's furious. You can see her fuming.
Is this the first time she's heard this story, too?
Oh, 100%.
Okay.
Yeah, no, she's been looking for her father since she was like 16.
Dane.
Yes.
Has Astrid ever seen Azan?
She would have in like footage, yeah.
Fuck. Okay, that's a lot.
But he's literally lost. Not dead, right? You don't know, right?
I do not know where he ended, no. And I have searched for a very long time to find him.
Well, that's something, Astrid. We'll find him.
And he turns to Astrid and he says, "I understand that you are angry, but your father was a great man. He inspired so many. The good he put into this universe tipped the scales. He brought balance to so much bad, and it inspired me. And I had made a mistake, and for that I regret it, because not only did I take a great man from the world, I took your father, and for that I will apologize profusely. And I know it will never be enough, but please know it was never an act of malice. It was never an act of abandonment on his part. He did it for you, and it was my failure that he didn't return." And Astrid storms out.
What's our next step, Eridaxis?
He sighs and kind of resumes pacing around. He says, "We need to find Penetaris. If she had sacrificed herself, then she will persist somewhere. That is what the Synonans and I are working on. We are trying to project my consciousness out and see. Unfortunately, she is prevalent in this system. I hear her now in this room, and when I extend myself further, I hear her in the ships outside of this planet, and even further into the planets beyond. She has projected herself through this system, and the more she gains influence, the more the evil that has resided in her blood gets stronger and gets closer to release."
So the trick is, like the old-fashioned way to find the Eridaxis without any mind wumbo jumbo would be to find out which of the parties involved in this plot are the ones harvesting the blood, because they have to be getting it from her directly. So if we can narrow it down to who's the original supplier, that's the group that has her, that has whatever she turned into, her main body is under one of these groups' controls, whether that's the Cadrical Cats, whether it's Azin, whether it's the Federation. we need to figure out who's the main supplier, whether it's Mazo. I don't think it's Mazo, because Mazo sounds shocked to see Penteteris.
Currently, I'm leaning towards Cadrical. Something about that feels right.
That's the group we know the least amount about.
Yeah.
Do we know that the Ministry of Defense silver liquid was just what they reclaimed from the wrecks we investigated at the start? Or did it seem like they had far more than that?
I don't think you would know that, but it certainly
we saw their like repository, right? When we were in the basement of the Ministry of Defense base, like we went into the room where they were about to take our silver liquid. Do we have an idea of like the volume?
You never saw you saw like all the people that they were going to goop, but I don't think you ever saw their supply.
No, we did not.
Just because when we went right into the lab, they were like, "Give it to us." I assumed there was like
there was
nearby.
You saw vials of it. You would know that like there's no way to know if that's all they had or if that was just what they had on hand.
Did that seem like more than would have been reclaimed at the ship? Because we saw how much there was there.
Again, it wouldn't have all been kept on that site.
And
like
that goop,
it like the way think of like a vaccine. Like they wouldn't have like every vaccine that has been.
I would assume the goop we reclaimed was just from other reactors. So are we sure that was Penteteris' goop from the first goop? I guess it must have been.
Well, he's saying he can hear Penteteris in it
from
right
my
now,
goop,
right?
which is goop prime.
The only thing I was asking was, we know roughly how much there was on the wrecks because we saw them, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So if there was more than that in the room, that would give us an answer. If there was less than that, then we wouldn't know.
There was certainly less.
Okay, great. So yeah, they could have more, so we don't know.
Yeah.
Wait, did we ever figure out what destroyed all those ships? Just like
Nope. Just more questions, Durrin.
I think you figured out that some of them were destroyed by each other. Like there were some terror ships and taverns, and you could like guess that they were destroyed, like they had fought each other, but you never figured out why there was silver liquid on them.
This is going to feel a little off topic, and I apologize for that. But out of respect, Eridaxis, if you can tell me, what was the Valai that sacrificed themselves for our ship? Can you tell me their name? I
would have to commune with them.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I did not know them personally. I had little to do with Earth.
It's just, if at any point, it's just, they've been keeping us going for so long, and to know that they're living, I would really like to show that respect back to them.
He nods and says, yes, I will.
Thank you.
Next time I have the opportunity, I will try to commune and see what I can learn from them for you.
That means a lot to me, and I know it's off topic. But I don't know what could happen between now and the end of this conversation. So I just want to get that out there.
Speaking of ending conversations, the last time we talked, I asked you something and you disappeared.
I apologize. My ability to project.
It's okay. I just want to get it in as quick as possible. Do you know how to heal people of the silver, the gooping, as we call it? Because I don't want to watch any more innocent people die. I want to be able to save people. We have to be able to save some people.
Unfortunately, the only way to stop this is to quell the evil residing in Penteteris. Until we get rid of that, we cannot undo what has been done.
Is there a way to at least stop them from dying when the silver liquid has had its way with them?
He thinks for a moment and says, until they begin showing signs of influence, a coma could be used to prevent the influence from taking hold. It would seem, as we've researched, that once they have achieved what their goal is, or once they've received instruction, then it is past a point of no return. If we could get to them before that, then perhaps we can cut off the connection, as this seems to be entirely psychic related. But as Penteteris' influence grows throughout the system, it will become harder to stop. That the psychic reverberations are feeding off one of each other, like a chain of satellites. When it was one, it was harmless, a simple suggestion perhaps, but now they can coordinate. They can work in tandem. They can receive instructions from planets away.
All right, I'm not a fan of these conversations we've been having lately, which is just questions but getting more questions. So let's just get to the point. What's our next step now? So you're trying to track it down. Obviously, that's going to take time.
Is there anything you need from us to do it?
Yeah, I'm not going to sit around idly when there are people who need our help.
I needed you here which is, unfortunately, I was not able to reach out to you. So I knew you would come for Astrid and Thimble, and that is why I mimicked the call, letting her know that her father was here.
Can I punch Aerodaxus?
Absolutely.
That's fucking insane. You're telling me you gave our friend an inch of fucking hope that her father was still alive just to draw us here. You couldn't send a fucking email?
You see him shrink.
We don't operate in false hope, Aerodaxus.
If you could mimic that call, you could mimic another one.
I understand, but...
I think I understand why you're the last to lie. You're the weakest.
Oh.
He looks at you straight on. He says, "That is correct. I am. And that is why I need to pull the same strings that Penteris is. Find the ones that haven't yet been pulled taut and pull them to my side. It is not something I'm proud of. I understand this makes me a coward. But we have given Casamal so much. We sacrificed so much for the people of Casamal. Everyone here has gotten a second chance because of us. This was a paradise of second chances. And I do not wish to see it lost. And so if I have to sacrifice my beliefs, my integrity, to orchestrate a rescue of the people that I love, then I will. And you can hate me. I can be the villain. I can be a coward. Those mean nothing to me. What matters is that we do not lose everything.
Once again, we will help you. We want this over just as much as you do. I don't agree with what you did, and I don't know how you'll ever owe this to Astrid. Figure it out, is all I can say. Or you may wake up with a dagger in your back, so be careful. But for now, what's the next step, Aerodaxus?
We use the blood of Penteris, and hopefully with that I can attune more closely to the source.
Is there a danger in that for you? As you said, Penteris is really powerful, and you guys have a psychic link. I don't want you going all haywire here.
I won't be ingesting it. I will simply be...
reaching out your consciousness, right? Is there a chance she could grab a hold of it?
No.
Okay.
This feels way dangerous at this
point. So you
point.
need this. Merrick holds up the vial, so this is what you wanted us here for?
Correct.
Fine.
I've got a bad feeling about all of this right now.
I haven't felt good about anything in weeks. Durrin, I don't think you've felt good about anything in years. I don't think this is going to change much.
Okay, yeah, I mean, that's a bit of a call-out, but it's fair.
Aerodaxus says, "This will take a while. I will essentially be hitting a universal tuning fork and reverberating at the same psychic level. Hopefully, what has been stopping me currently is the noise of the blockade outside this planet. I'm hoping with the assistance of Penteris's blood, I will be able to project further. And at that point, I'm hoping I can find the source. And then it'll just be a matter of time of culling the evil within."
Now, if your resignation leads you to a dangerously handsome man with an edge to him that seems very goopy, I would pull back right away. We do not want him to know where we are. So,
Jahara's not goopy.
A different dangerous man with a handsome edge.
Who is currently his ex, and, you're open to new opportunities.
This is not the time.
In fact,
for this.
He probably needs new opportunities.
Anyway,
He's a wonderful person. He has friends that are worms.
I'm vibrating with rage. I'm going to go outside and make flames appear. Start the tuning. Cody, you should probably check in on Astrid. She'll probably need someone kind. I can't be that for her right now.
I'm not good at that.
You're good at being genuine. You're genuine, Cody, and that's what she needs. A genuine friend.
I look at Durrin. I think you're better. I say dumb shit all the time, and I think even in this conversation, I don't think I handled that part well.
Sometimes the dumb shit... No, hear me out. Sometimes the dumb shit is what someone needs to hear.
Not my brand sometimes.
I'm too blunt. I'm too harsh. I'm just...
But you know loss.
I do, but I think Merrick's right.
Will you come with me then?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Just if I say something dumb, just stop me.
I don't think you will, but yeah, I'll be there for you if you want.
Okay.
If anything changes Aerodaxis or when you get close, get someone to alert us. I put the vial on the table.
He nods, and as you guys are leaving the room, he says, I am sorry for the pain, for the stress. I'm sorry.
You saved our lives once. We're now even on the playing field. For this new partnership, we need to work with each other and build upon it. All right? We'll help you to achieve your goals. You have to help us achieve ours.
It's Astrid you need to apologize to.
Yeah.
He nods and says, an apology I do not think is enough, but I understand.
While you're psychically questing, maybe find her dad. Because I think, honestly, that's the only way she'll forgive you.
He, stops for a second and says, as I mentioned before, we were all looking for a single sacrifice to make. Jonathan Aurelius would be mine.
Well, if you're able to not sacrifice yourself and bring him home, that would be great. But
I think
It's your decision to make.
I leave.
And yeah, I'm going to go follow Cody and go talk to... I'll go mediate.
As you guys are walking through the halls, you hear, or Jahara turns to you and says, I sent a small squad to retrieve your ship and bring it safely to our landing dock. You don't need to worry too much about that. I understand that you have some personal things to attend to. Once you're done there, please meet me in the war room. And he walks down the hall. But as he does, you guys hear a noise in the distance. You hear the sound of a gentle humming. And then down the hall that you can't see, just around the corner, you hear, and then you hear and as two Synonan soldiers round the corner, they have a floating cage, and inside is the Blinks.
Oh my god, Mr. Blinks.
Wait, there was two, though, right?
One was dead.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Its life partner died, and now it was lost, and we saved its life, but it's very sad still, probably.
It looks at you guys and stops frantically teleporting around, but it seems to be in some sort of containment. So when it flashes and tries to teleport, only parts of it do. It throws itself sort of with force in the direction that it was trying to go, because some of it stays corporeal. And one of the soldiers is Commander, these idiots had a Class A restricted species loose on their ship. It wasn't even contained.
Did we?
It's our friend.
Yeah, that's Mr. Blinks.
One of them reaches in with a stun baton and
Oh, no.
prods it.
I'm running up to them to stop them.
Before you can get there, Jahara grabs the guy's arm and yanks it so hard that you hear a pop.
Ooh.
And presses him against the wall with a finger and says, if you touch that animal again, I will put you in that cage and you will be at the mercy at the end of my spear. Do you understand? And you can see this guy's fucking terrified. All sort of bravado that he had rolling in to shame you guys drains out of him. And he goes absolutely silent, and he just kind of silently nods frantically, and he says, you'll not be putting that in containment. Bring it to my chambers.
Oh, I'm going to give Merrick a knowing smile and a wink, because I
could see
it.
Ryan in real life getting horny over that exchange.
I get it. I get it.
No comment.
Yeah. And the one guy who was who wasn't the one that just got his arm dislocated begins wheeling it in a separate direction.
Thank you.
That one, it's our friend. Thank you.
We did not know that they were with us, but it makes sense. Look after him, or whatever you're going to do. I'm going to go for a walk.
Yeah, he looks at you and says, war room when you're ready, and disappears down a hall.
All right, you guys go see Astrid. I'm going to just walk around.
Do you want some time alone in the war room later?
Oh, guys, we have a world to save. We can, we'll get to that stuff after it.
Hey, Catherine's also my brother. Still here, guys.
Also Catherine's brother.
Yeah, I mean, I assume you would support this, yeah?
Guys, we have other things to do. Break. Merrick just turns around and leaves.
Maybe your brother just needs to get laid. I've heard that makes people nicer.
Catherine makes a disgusted sigh and also goes a different way.
Don't worry, Merrick. We
See,
got you.
Durrin?
We got you.
See?
Merrick is just gone. Like, he is not. He's
See,
not here.
Durrin? I'm pointing at Merrick going one way, Catherine going the other way. See?
Let's just go.
They're actually going the same way.
that awkward thing where you like say goodbye and kind of go in the same way.
Well, they're storming away from you.
Oh. Oh, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, that's fair.
See?
Let's go talk to Astrid.
Yeah, so Durrin and Cody, you're going to talk to Astrid. Merrick, what are you doing?
Merrick is just gonna go for a little walk around. Like, he doesn't want to snoop too aggressively, but I'm just trying to get a lay of the land because, you know, as much as I trust the Synonans, I just want to make sure, you know, what this palace is like, where the prison may be, where we will probably end up later for some reason, you know, stuff like that.
Okay. I think Catherine is going to go with you and just kind of like silently walk around with you and then says, brothers, huh?
Oh man, you're telling me.
Yeah.
So were you guys like a noble family here, or was it like a rise from the ranks kind of thing for Jihara?
Column A, column B, a little bit. Our father was a high-ranking Synonan Armada official. All right. He takes a deep breath and he says, my father was a very important man in the Armada. And one day he was a target of an assassination.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Well, it failed.
Oh.
However, the woman that was sent to kill him, I mean, didn't stab him in the heart, but certainly captured it. They fell in love.
Fell in love with an assassin?
He looks at you and he says, I don't want to judge romantic partners, but...
Okay,
and he
fair
gives
enough.
Like, he gives kind of like a shrug.
Yeah, all right.
Damn,
That's so
Catherine.
good. Holy
All
shit.
Nat 20 burn.
Mhm.
And he says, my mother was an Endeafin spy. That is where I get the whole shape-changing thing from. They fell in love. They had us. We also went through the ranks. I was more of a tech engineer officer. My brother obviously excelled in frontline combat until my mother's transgressions caught up to her. And she was killed.
That I am sorry to hear.
Thank you. At that point in time, I watched my father be devoured by vengeance. It became his singular focus. He tanked his career. He was dishonorably discharged from the Armada for using resources to find the killer. He got men and women killed on insane missions to try to find the people that killed my mother, to the point where it finally killed him. When he was alone and at his most desperate, he went into a fight that there was no chance of leaving. And I think that's why I resonated so much with Lady Emberheart, was because I saw my father in her. And I thought, if I couldn't save him, maybe I could save her. And we know where that ended.
Hey, we still don't know what happened to Lady Emberheart. Not fully.
He gives you a very weak smile and says, she was terrifying, but I don't think an exploding planet is something a lot of people walk away from.
I know at least one who did.
Yeah, he kind of like clues in for a second and he says, sorry.
It's all right. Yeah, family is tough. Did he ever figure out who pulled the trigger on your mother? Or was it always a wild goose chase?
He was convinced, but pretty much every time he had a name, he was convinced, and then he crossed it off the list, and then he realized there was another name. And when he finally died, I needed a break. I needed to get away. I needed an escape. And Jorhara saw that as cowardice, as weakness. He thought I ran away, but Jorhara just threw himself even more into his work. So we see the flip side of the same coin, where he buried himself in work and I needed to go anywhere but here. I think we both feel like each other had abandoned the other.
I understand that feeling.
Cody and Durrin, you guys go back to that sitting room that you were in, and you can see Astrid is just staring out the window. Her back is to you. Thimble is sort of like 2 or 3 feet away, just also staring silently. And when you guys walk in, you see a flash of both relief and nerves, because she doesn't really know if you two are the ones that Astrid needs, but she knows that she also isn't the one that Astrid needs, so she's happy to allow the attempt.
The call from your dad was a fake. he faked the call, and he's a big butt. I just wanted to clear that up because he didn't tell you that. He told us that, and he's a big butt. And I'm gonna go over and like try to like put a hand on her shoulder.
The second she senses you get close, she 180s and hugs you.
I hug her back, and I look at Durrin, and I like gesture over.
Bad attempt, but it went well. So I just give a little thumbs up.
I'm trying to get you to join in on the hug.
You see Thimble. Yeah, you see Thimble shake her head.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen.
I gesture to her.
And then you feel Astrid like just squeeze tighter, and you hear her cry.
I kind of motion for you to like hug her properly, give her a good hug while this is happening.
I'm giving her a good hug. I'm definitely trying not to hurt her, because Cody is a strong boy, but I don't know why he would do that. I'm so sorry.
She finally releases you, and she wipes the tears from her eyes, and she says, I've spent my entire life pretty much looking for him, and now I know that he's gone, most likely. I mean, I wish. The thing that sucks is there's still a thread of hope.
I know I'm dumb when it comes to a lot of things, and I'm dumb when it comes to hope especially. So I'm trying not to be the one to make that worse, to take that little pinprick of hope and start to widen it into a hole. But there is hope, and if he's out there, I think we can find him. At the very least, we're gonna fucking try.
She nods, and she puts a hand on your shoulder and just says, I'm going to try very hard to honor my father and do what he would have done in this situation, and that's help as many people as possible.
If it's any consolation, Merrick punched Eridaxis after you left.
She smiles weakly and says, remind me to buy Merrick a drink next time that's an option.
Yeah, I will.
And then she sits down, and Thimble takes a seat beside her and just kind of like rests her head on her arm. And Astrid rests her head on top of Thimble's head, and they just kind of sit there together.
Yeah, I just give Cody like a nice little squeeze on the shoulder and a warm smile, just kind of give like the vibe like did good, kid.
Cody's just like seems just like uncomfortable and sad, but like he smiles back.
If there's nothing else you want to do, you have been requested to the war room.
I want to give them a good 5 to 10 minutes before we get there. We're gonna take that scenic route there. Just
we go get a coffee.
Yeah, grab a coffee. We're just.
I do want to talk to Jenny.
You guys walk into just an awkward, quiet room where it's just me, Cathin, and Jahara just with all our arms crossed, just looking at each other, making like just some grunts. I don't know what you guys thought was going to happen, but this is what is currently happening in this room.
That's exactly what I thought would be happening.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you walk into the war room, and Cathin and Merrick are sitting at the table, arms crossed. Johara is also kind of like wandering around the room, looking at computer screens. This thing is like packed. It's a big rectangular room with a big curved bank at the front of just so many fucking screens. There's a map on the far wall to the left that takes up pretty much the whole thing, and you can tell that it's kind of like an entire map of Synonus Prime, and you see like little dots being tracked, and then you see sort of a interstellar view as well, like a galaxy map as well, with the positions of the ships that are currently forming the blockade in the planet. But then there's also a small sort of like science station off to the right hand side, and you can see that there is a small little guy, and as you walk in, he floats around and turns in a small floating stool, and he hops off it, sitting at about 3 feet tall. The 6-armed furry creature hops off his little floating stool.
Ah, it's one of these.
Skittermander?
He adjusts his tunic and smooths it out. It's like a standard slate gray uniform that all of them are wearing, but it looks particularly striking in juxtaposition to his crimson fur. He lifts a set of large goggles up onto his forehead, revealing a orange face of fur, almost like pointed in a 5-point star. And he pads his way over to you. He waddles his way over to you, and he goes, "Oh, yes. You are the Offworlders, yes?"
Yes.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you.
What's your name?
My name is Quinlan Tealight.
Quinlan.
T-Light.
I am Chief Science Officer here on Synonus Prime.
I've loved every science thing that we've run into this whole game, this whole campaign. It's just been like the most adorable, weirdest things as science officers. It's the best.
I was just about to say they're all just little guys.
They're all little guys.
It's like a fancy short jack.
Don't say that to Short Jack.
I won't.
He's a king. What could get more fancy?
I don't know. Being bright red.
Ooh, damn.
So Quinlan, what are you doing here? What are we? I'm sorry. I don't know. I don't talk to science officers that much. I just let mine do their own thing.
Johara walks over and just says, "We are currently fighting 2 wars on 2 fronts. There's the mercenary invasion, which seems to be loosely tied to the Ministry of Defense, but we're also in the Cold War staring at each other phase in our space front as well. So the Armada is dealing with the stalemate of the blockade, but then we also have these fucking asshole mercenaries everywhere. They're like fucking cockroaches. You can see him getting actually really worked up for some reason, and then he walks you over to the screen and he says, "These are our units. They are scattered, and we're trying to figure out what they're doing because nothing that they're doing seems to make any goddamn sense. They're not attacking vital targets. They're not attacking military outposts. They're just kind of everywhere."
Durrin wants to. Terry has an idea, and Durrin wants to be able to vocalize it during all this. It doesn't make sense what they're doing, right? If I think about it, what are they attacking? Give me some current targets. Just, I have a thought, and I need to confirm some things.
I mean, the last one, I guess the most important one was the outpost landing ground that they were at for you guys. There was a sawmill that they attacked. There was a civilian complex. There's been a couple remote settlements they've attacked. They have attacked a manufacturing plant for sugar.
No. Okay. All right. Hear me out. This is...
I feel like we need to get the red string out for what Terry's about to say.
Yeah. No. It's like that It's Always Sunny thing with all the thing in the background. All right. No, hear it out. It doesn't make sense because it's the point. It's like they're doing these, and this is just a thought. It could be wrong. Could be completely wrong. But these targets don't make sense because they're just supposed to be maybe a distraction to pull your focus on something else. Is there a place where they're specifically seems to be avoiding within this map of targets? Is there a spot on here that feels vacant?
Johara says that is my assumption as well. These are a distraction technique meant to spread our resources thin. It is meant to keep us occupied while something else happens. And that is what I'm going to ask of you. We are trying to pinpoint exactly what you just said, Durrin. A location that they seem to be dragging us away from, trying to make us not look at. My first guess is, and then he looks down to Quinlan and says, "Would you like to explain?" And Quinlan runs over to a small monitor, and his little stool meets him halfway, and he jumps and lands on this stool, and he says, "Yes, Synonus Prime is protected by something called the Pulsar Zashita. It is a field that is wrapped around the entire planet, and it prevents teleportation. It prevents interplanetary teleportation. So people without a proper pass can't teleport onto or off of the planet. It is a combination of technological satellites, broadcast towers, and magical ley lines that is interwoven into the planet itself. It is nearly impossible to disable it completely.
Can I interject? Because my mind is just going with this, but Azin did take a huge power source from Yusaran. We do have it, but is something of that power, if we throw this in here, could that disrupt it somehow?
I mean, I would have to look at the power source, but I can send someone to your ship to retrieve it, and I can begin to study it. Curiously enough, I have also been working on these. And he presses a button on the table, and it like slides open, and then a like gravity field appears, like a purplish cube appears, and float up are a bunch of those like ceramic discs, those white discs with the red symbol on it. That you got off the mercenaries, and they pop up in like all sorts of different, almost like cross sections. So like one is put together, one has been split open, and then like all the parts are slowly like across getting more and more refined and more taken apart and deconstructed. And he says, these are the ones that are boggling my mind. I'm not sure what these are for. They are certainly communication devices of some sort, but they also have latent magic abilities of a contingency spell.
What's the contingency?
Yeah.
Well, contingencies usually are a way of magically protecting yourself upon death, but it doesn't seem like it works because we've gotten all of these off of people who are dead.
Maybe the contingency is that when this communicator gets in the presence of whatever they're looking for, something triggers.
No, wait. What if it happens all at once? Like all the deaths at once? Which they do have with the goo thing. They can just shut everyone down at one point, right?
I don't think they're explosives.
No, it's just... I feel like we're close to something, you know?
Can anyone more magically inclined give it a study?
He glares at you, and he says, I'm sorry, do you think I'm not magically inclined?
I said more so because you said you don't have the answer. Ergo, doesn't that mean if
no,
someone
by all means,
did, they would be more?
Yeah, no, please, go. No, please. And he folds all 6 of his arms.
I speak into my communicator. Zelphus, can you come down here?
Oh,
wait, no need. We've got his goo.
We do have his goo.
Yeah, I don't want to waste the goo. He's literally just down the hall.
Zelphus slops in.
I think for the first time, Durrin's kind of like excited, but not in a good way. It's more so like he's figuring something's coming together, and it's like his mind or his thoughts are trying to catch up to where his mind is. Like something's here, right?
Yeah, Merrick thought he felt like that a couple weeks ago, a couple episodes ago, and then we got no real answer, so he's not hopeful with any of it.
Zelphus comes in, and he looks at this, and he goes, what am I looking at?
This is a communicator doohickey with a contingency spell.
We're trying to figure out what the spell is. What the contingency is.
Yeah, the spell hasn't gone off at all, despite the deaths of the people who've owned these communicators.
He just stares blankly, and he says, I'm a doctor.
All right. Point to Quinlan. All right, Quinlan, you're the best we got. I'm sorry we ever doubted you.
I am actually reeling about like how obvious that should have been now that we're here, but fuck, that was...
Well, when you hear science officer, you also don't think magic, do you?
I guess what kind of doctor they are matters.
He's goop. I'm assuming that meant he was magic goop, and I think magic goop would know magic stuff.
Well, he wasn't always magic goop.
It's true.
I guess.
But he does like lean over and start kind of like looking around at stuff, and Catherine is doing the same thing. Now that they have like deconstructed this whole situation.
How quickly could we have solved this whole thing if we had a mystic in our party, or on the crew? Like, we have no magic. We literally, it is our greatest weakness.
Catherine leans in and reaches into like sort of this gravity field and begins manipulating one of them that's like kind of half deconstructed, and spins it around and pushes it forward to Quinlan. And Catherine says, if you look at that, these things have dead man switches as well. And Quinlan looks up and he just says, now that's interesting. I kind of just assumed that was the contingency, but it seems like there is not only a contingency spell, but also a physical, technological reader to know when the holder has died.
Obviously, it's so important that they put in a failsafe, but then why have none of them gone off? That just makes it even weirder.
Oh, maybe they've gone off, and maybe that's how they're keeping track of their forces. But obviously that seems too simplistic.
I have a feeling something really, really bad's about to happen here. Worse than our original thoughts. Like,
all right, so you want us to go check out this pulsar, Sashida?
So right now, we don't have an immediate target. And I think what we should do is let you guys get some rest. We both have sort of some projects. I've been working with Eridaxis, so we are going to get him in a chamber in which he can start tuning to the blood that you have given him. Meanwhile, Jahara and the Armada are going to start doing planetary-wide scans to see if we can't figure out what they're trying to distract us from. And once that happens, that will be your job, because they have stretched our forces very thin. And we also feel like they are monitoring our forces somehow. But I don't think they know, they're not counting on you. So you will be able to approach them without alerting them. And that, I think, is the key to our success.
Yeah, that's great plan. Yeah, do your scans, and we'll make a list of high priority targets. So the shield, this pulsar, Sashita, or yeah, whatever else you think of, and then we'll go from there.
Okay, we will keep you up to date. And his stool kind of like floats off.
If it's okay, I would like to stay here and keep looking at this stuff. There's something here I'm looking for, and I know it's like, and I just like looking at all the monitors and everything. Like I know it's here. There's something here.
Here's a Cath and here's a Zelphus.
Roll me an engineering check, please.
Will do. I got a 28.
Cool. You see what Cathan saw. You see this like dead man switch, which you know from your time with like the grandmother rat wars and like your Civil War. These were often used as like self-destruct stuff, right? It's usually keyed to the person that's holding it. It has like almost like a status effect or spell effect on it, where it keeps a measure of whoever it belongs to. The second it dies, it's supposed to explode. Like they're supposed to, like usually that's what this mechanic is for. It's meant to erase information, like data, and you know from your past check that this is a receiver. It's meant to like hold information, but not like broadcast or store or whatever. Okay. But something here, like you look at it and you can see like you've had devices like this before. Yeah. And it's meant to be like, if you die, it goes kaput. But for whatever reason, these people are dying and nothing seems to be happening. There doesn't seem to be a change from it. But again, you haven't got one from someone who's alive. So this, whatever state it is in right now, could be what it does when they've died.
Do we have more than one of these?
Oh, there's like 20 of them in this gravity field, all in different states of deconstruction.
Okay. Oh, okay. They're already deconstructed. So
yeah. So there's one that's full. There's one that's just kind of like split in half. There's one that's split in half, but like the parts have been lined out, and it's like you have like the full array of like down to like the last piece is like every screw is an individual piece.
I don't see Durrin leaving here to rest. He's in war room mode. He wants to keep looking at this.
I want to give you a check for this. I will also say, if this is the route you want to take, you will not get the benefits of an 8-hour rest. So whatever resources you've spent,
that's okay.
Then whatever you've spent for the day, like your mirror image won't refresh, like that kind of stuff.
Okay. I still have 2 more, so we're good on that. And like, yeah, I'm not hurt. I just have 1. I'm down 1 resolve point, so I don't. He's not going to do a rest. He's just going to focus on this. In fact, if you want to make him fatigued, that's totally cool too. But
no, I don't think this is enough of like, you'll get some food and stuff. I don't think you'll be fatigued, but depending on how the rest of the day goes, maybe we'll talk about it. But right now, I'm just saying you're not going to get a refresh.
Totally fine. I just can see him with all these puzzle pieces, and he's trying to figure out what the missing pieces or what's missing from the puzzle, and from that trying to figure out like what the bigger whole is.
Okay, I want you to roll a check for me so I can see. If you're going to invest in this, I want to give you something.
Okay.
What do you think? I'll tell you what. I'll give you a perception check.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give you a sense motive.
Okay.
And I'll give you one of those 2 things, and I'll give you some information.
One of them? Okay. Because I guess what I'm trying to figure out, and that's the biggest thing, and maybe that'll help you. And you can feel free to like save it for later and think on it, what I'm actually asking for. Because you don't have to. because it's going to take all like the entire time, right? So it can come up a little bit later, but he feels like there is a factor that needs to be in place before the dead man switches and the contingency spells work. And that's what he's trying to figure out. Like, what is the variable that is missing almost in a way?
Okay.
And I'll give you this, and you don't have to say it now. Like, I think it's going to be an all night thing. So I got a 35 on that sense motive.
Okay. I don't know if you're going to be able to figure that out.
Okay.
But I will give you that with your sense motive, you're looking at the patterns and the movement of the troops, and you're starting to see that they are pretty distinctly avoiding the ley lines. That's okay. That is your hunch that this force right now, this the mercenary invasion, is drawing attention away from the ley lines of Synonus Prime.
Okay, cool.
But I will say that's not like an immediate recognition. I think that's you working with the team the whole night is kind of what you guys determine. Cody, I know you wanted to talk to Jenny.
Yeah.
So before we do a rest, we'll do that.
Where's she at?
I think she's hanging out with Short Jack. They're just kind of like relaxing. Maybe they're in like a cafeteria. They're almost in like a mess hall. You guys are kind of underneath the palace right now. You're not in the palace proper. And you're in sort of like a barracks situation. And they're at a cafeteria eating some food.
I'm going to walk by Short Jack and like give him a little fist bump and say, Merrick thinks you'd be cooler if you were red. And then sit down beside Jenny.
He stops and he's like, fuck, I would be cool if I was red.
Hey.
He's an illusion boy. He can do that, right?
Yeah. Or
That's
just like,
point.
If he's in photon mode, is he kind of red? I don't know. I'm like, hey, how you doing?
She looks up and she says, I'm going through some stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I figured that's why I'm here, interrupting your food.
Yeah, it's seeing the Sarkeesians again isn't easy, but hey, let me tell you, beating the shit out of that one. Yeah. pretty fucking good. Felt pretty good.
I will be beating the shit out of probably some more. I was wondering, is there anyone, who was personally involved last time? I'll make a note.
She shakes her head and she says, the likelihood of a merc lasting that long is slim. If he's still alive, I'm sure he's not living a good life, and I would be shocked if any of the ones that made my life hell are even still alive, especially a Sarkeesian. So I appreciate the offer, but I'm just make me the deal that if we are going to continue to beat the shit out of Sarkeesians, I get to tag along.
Oh, I would love that. Yeah, no, by all means. You make me the deal that if by chance you do see one, you let me get in a few hammer blows or punches, whatever. Sometimes I throw my weapon across the room by accident.
I mean, it happens.
It does. Although you have a strap on your guitar, so it very rarely happens to you. Is that why?
Get a strap for your hammer.
Oh my God. Cody's just like staring off into the distance, like worlds opening up around him. Is there anything you want to talk about? Or you just want to beat some faces in?
Yeah. I mean, you know my history with them. You know that they suck. But no,
I'm trying to do the feelings thing recently. And sometimes just because you've talked about them once doesn't mean they're better.
No. And I really appreciate you checking in on me. That's really, really important. And I got to say, you're getting better at the feelings thing.
Hey, I'm trying. I got some really good teachers.
She slides over her cafeteria tray and she's like, would you like some gray stuff? And you look down at the tray and it's just like 4 different consistencies of gray things. There's like a cube, there's like a liquid, there's like a mush, and then there's like some like flakes.
Are you guys experimenting on the silver liquid?
No, this is the finest Synonan cuisine.
Is it as bad as it looked?
You know what? It's not.
Which one should I'll start with the goop.
Start with the goop.
It looks like Zelfus.
You see, like, Shortjack is, like, scraping the goop section, like, clean and eating it. Hello, Space GM Dane here to do the things. We're going to keep this real quick and easy. First and foremost, we hope you're enjoying the episode. Second, this week has been sponsored by Zencastr. I talked about it before, but Zencastr is the whole reason that you're hearing this show. We have dudes all over our lovely country. We have Ryan is across on the other end, the East Coast. Terry lives in another city. Niall and I are the only two people who live in the same city. It would be very difficult to do the show if it wasn't for something like Zencastr. It is a all-in-one podcasting studio where we can all just jump on. We record the show. We don't have to worry about backups or losing any progress because even with a slow connection, you've got crystal clear audio quality and backups that are saved on site. Zencastr makes it incredibly easy for us to get together, record the show. It is stress-free, it's worry-free. It makes the whole experience very easy. In fact, I'm recording this break in my studio, which is a closet, as you know. And then I'm going to literally walk into my living room where I edit the show and download the files all from there. I don't need to do any transferring. It's all right there. You can access them on any computer as long as you just log into your account. Using Zencastr is now super easy to record a podcast. Log in using any browser, start recording a high-quality podcast episode right away. Record studio-quality sound and up to 4K video with your guests. Feel a sense of zen knowing Zencastr's multi-layered backups ensure that you always have your recording in the highest quality, even if your connection is unstable. If you've ever thought of starting your own podcast and then realized that you need a bunch of tools and services and platforms, well, those days are over. Zencastr is an all-in-one podcasting platform. You can create your podcast all in one place and then distribute to Spotify, Apple, and other major destinations. Go to zencastr.com, that's zencastr.com/pricing, and use our code NOQUEST, and you'll get 30% off the first month of any Zencastr paid plan. Once again, that is zencastr.com/pricing, and use our code NOQUEST, and you'll get 30% off your first month of any Zencastr paid plan. We want you to have the same easy experience that we do for all of our podcasting and content needs. It's time to share your story. Thank you to everyone who checked out and tuned in to the stream at PAX Unplugged. We had a blast playing with the fine folks over at the Atomless. We might have some more news in the future for you, so keep your eyes peeled on our socials and our Discord. Speaking of which, if you want to join the Discord, head on over to noquestcast.com, click the Discord link. You'll be brought in. People will love you. We'll welcome you with big, warm, open arms. You'll get a big old internet hug, and you'll be a part of an incredible community that we're very, very proud of. Even Oliver, I don't know if you just heard him, but he agreed right there with me. The show is available if you missed it and want to check it out. It is available on Paizo's YouTube channel right now, I believe, but I will be uploading it onto our Patreon for everyone who is just like a free content thing on the Patreon. So it will be accessible to everyone. I'll probably get it up this weekend, hopefully on Friday or Saturday. Oliver, what's up, bud? He got so much to say. He maybe he wants to do the break for once. It'd be nice. I'd like a break from the break. Other than that, big congratulations to everyone who won during our Patreon giveaway. We gave away $100 to Misty Mountain and a $50 gift card to Misty Mountain. We're really looking forward to see the dice that you got. Other than that, I think that's it for this week. It's a pretty easy one, a pretty light one, and we will see you in 2 weeks' time. You guys are woken in the morning by Jahara banging on your door, just being like, "We've got some information. War room in 5." And
So
he
early.
goes up. Yeah, it's very early. It's like 6 a.m., 5 or 6 a.m. And you guys have been summoned to the war room. If you want to do anything in the morning, let me know. But you guys are being requested pretty quickly.
I'm going to roll Jenny's ability.
Yes, do Jenny's ability and Catherine's ability, please.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
is that per day?
Yeah.
I thought that was per adventure.
Nope.
Damn
kinda
it.
like-
I think it's used for reach once.
I will
kinda like-
say, if you want to hang on to your Cathin, that's a choice. If you want to re-roll, you can. If you want to keep it, you can.
I would like
No,
to
I'm
keep it,
keeping
please.
reach.
Okay.
But I
Yeah,
will
I'll
do
keep
Jenny.
mine for now.
Okay.
I rolled a 1 on the Jenny abilities. Let me just...
Oh, you can choose your Jenny ability now.
Oh, true.
Oh.
I forgot
Oh.
about that.
But I like rolling. I like the randomness of it.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, you can still do that.
All
Yeah,
right,
Take
rocker
rocker
inspiration.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Sorry.
Hey, all three of you taking rocker?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Yeah, if you guys just want to head into the war room, you go into the war room. There's kind of a hustle, and people are like moving around with a lot more fervor than you saw yesterday. And Johora, as he walks in, he goes, "Sit rep now." And a soldier points to the screen and pulls up a bunch of things. He's saying the mercenaries are hitting every target, like everywhere, all at once. There's a lot of them. We've sent out our forces. They're holding them off. I don't think anything is in particular danger, but this is the largest scale attack that we've seen.
What are they focusing on?
Once again, they pull up like just the most random assortment of, there's like a car dealership, there's like a shopping mall, there's a couple farms, some industrial things, a lot of like small settlements out into the outskirts. And Johara says, Durrin has figured out that it seems like they're avoiding the ley line, and if we follow the pattern of attacks, we're going to guess it's this one. And the ley lines on the map light up, and all the other lights kind of dim down, and you can see that like where the attacks have left this one ley line that runs sort of like north-south, not too far from where you guys are, is the only sort of like place that there isn't a wide-scale attack in the area.
Okay.
Whatever's happening is happening now. We need to...
We gotta go.
Yeah.
Johara says, I have sent out all of my forces, so I need to stay here and protect the palace. I will give you a vehicle to get there as quickly as you can, but I cannot spare the men to back you up.
That's fine. So where exactly are we going to on the ley line?
It seems like there is a dead zone, and
Okay.
that is where you're going to be sort of like heading out to.
Before we go, how would they even sabotage this ley line? Presumably that's their plan. What would they need to do so we can do the opposite?
I would imagine there's either a device that they have or a magical artifact of some sort.
The dead man switches. Have we even like seen what they even do near a deadline or the ley line at all?
No.
Okay, so we get their doohickey and we bash it up or take it away.
We're good at bashing and taking.
We are.
All right. I'll have the vehicle prepped.
Let's roll out. So Jenny's coming with us. Is Kath and Short Jack kind of anybody else?
Whoever you want to bring with you, you can bring. I will say, well, maybe no. I think you could bring one more person in terms of like this vehicle.
All right, Catherine, you know the planet. We might need a tour guide.
Yeah, you got it. And he's already got his like rifle slinged over his shoulder and his pistol in his holster.
Short Jack, Zelphus, see if you can help Quinlan at all. Okay.
As you guys are leaving, Cathan pulls his pistol out of his holster, twirls it around, and hands it to you, Merrick, and says, when they decide to fly. And yeah, you guys are led to a garage. And the second you get out of the bunker, you can hear the conflict from within the Imperial City's walls. You can hear it outside. You're seeing and hearing a lot more than what you heard earlier. Like, this seems to be the start of major combat operations. But again, they have assured you that it's just mercenary. It doesn't seem like the Ministry of Defense has made a move yet.
Okay, I have a feeling we're not going to see mercenaries where we go. So keep your head on a swivel. Whatever they're doing it subtly, right? So anything that looks off, just call it out, even if it's something minor. It's
you guys are tearing ass through the like city, and eventually break through the gates and into the sort of like wilderness outside of the city. It doesn't take long. It takes about 10 minutes to get to this ley line that you've been told about. I guess it would be a little longer. It'd be weird if it was that close to the city. It takes about an hour, I would say, of driving top speed to get to this ley line. And once you get there, you can see that it is almost quite literally a line of magical energy that is running through, like, you know, like the guiding lights in like airports and stuff. It almost looks like that. Like, it looks like a technological installation.
Flow.
Yeah.
Like underneath.
Yeah. But you can see that there is like a distinct line of bright yellow energy running up and through. And sure enough, when you get there, you see that there is a small force of people, and they have constructed something that looks like a doorway over the ley line. So there's this like black and gold arch that goes up and over, and the ley line is running through it. And there's about 4 people there. Give me a perception check.
Oh, God.
My first roll.
Oh, that's bad.
not bad as well.
No, what's my perception again?
I feel like when we started recording, we beefed our perception checks for like 10 episodes.
Yeah, 27.
I think, Durrin, you're still so distracted that you're trying to like piece together what this is, that like you're looking at big picture and not fine details. Cody, I think you're doing the opposite. I think you're zeroing in on like the wrong stuff, and like
I'm driving so hard as well that I'm just trying to like I feel like that's where I'm engrossed.
Right. But Merrick, you can see that there are 3 mercenaries. It seems like a couple bloodletters and a Sarkeesian, but there's another person there that in armor that you haven't seen before. And it is this sort of angular black armor that has this gold inlay, and they have a black mask over their face with a golden symbol. And it looks like the little devices, like those are white and red. These are black and gold.
In the camera where we're looking at each other, you sort of did it above an eye. Does it happen to be above this character's eye at all?
So the golden symbol is like one of the eyes is like over the right eye.
So pretty cadrical-y, maybe?
It would certainly seem as such.
Does he? Okay, what weapon? Like, what's he holding? Obviously, he looks like a big armored knight guy. Does he have like a sword or?
You can't see a weapon currently that he's using.
Fuck.
As you guys approach, let me see.
Well, can we be sneaky boys?
Well, you are driving a car or a vehicle.
Yeah, that's fair.
So
Charge at them.
Turn on the stealth mode of the car.
I was seeing how close you could get, but
if
the
I'm
guy
not being
rolled.
stealthy, can I just try to crash into one of them?
Oh, 100%.
Yes.
Fuck yeah.
That is your option. However, one of the dudes, the guy in the black armor, he sees you, he clocks you a fair distance away, and he disappears.
God damn it. Is he like vanishes or pops into the like arch?
Vanishes.
That's bad.
Like, yeah. But yes, I will give you an attempt to drive into this dude. What is your roll me attack roll? I think that's the easiest way to do it.
Can I roll piloting?
No, this is an attack.
All right. That is going to be a 24.
Cool. Yeah, you hit this guy. And you know what? This is a high. I'm not going to roll damage. This guy's dead. You hit one of the Sarkeesians.
Yeah, I want to like drive up and like essentially like drift into him so that we like spin the back of our car around. It hits him. He just goes fucking flying, and then we're stationary, like just beside the others. So when we pile out, we can.
Yeah, you launch this Sarkeesian, and Jenny has she's up on the back seat with her like leg up on the back of the chair. So she's got like one leg up, one on the seat, and she hits a cord, and as he goes flying, you just see this big electric hammer smash him down into the ground, and he just goes like right in and like even like makes a small divot into the earth. And she says, "Yes, this is why I came." And everyone roll me some initiative.
Oh, shit.
24.
19.
This is going to be a first, I think. A 15.
Ooh.
Merrick, you go first.
What was the closest mark? So I'm assuming gate, object, and then just a couple guys sort of around it? Is that what we're dealing with right now?
Yeah, the gate is about 40 feet wide to cover the whole ley line. There's this yellow, it literally looks like frosted plastic almost, but when you get on it you can feel it's more of like a crystal that is the ley line itself, and there's this like soft orange glow or yellow glow coming from it. And then there is 2 bloodletters who are there. They seem to be doing something to the gate, but the second you fucking launch that Sarkeesian, they've drawn their weapons and are moving towards you.
Hell yeah.
Okay, can I meet a bloodletter?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. You'll have to move to get to him, but yes, you can.
Yeah.
You can definitely get there.
And I stop because I have reach, so I can hit him a little bit farther away.
True.
I'm gonna roll to attack. That's gonna be a 32 to hit.
It certainly does.
37 damage. And as Merrick goes into photon mode, and once again, just open battlefield, his comfort zone, moves in, his slightly longer Solarian blade just catches him a little bit off guard and just gets him across the chest to start the combat.
All right.
And that's it for Merrick.
Cody, it's your turn.
Move action, I like press the button that activates the boost on my hammer that Catherine gave me, and it starts to like overcharge with electrical energy. Standard action, charge on the same bloodletter.
Okay.
That's a nat 20.
Hell yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Does
You hear?
boost get doubled?
I don't know, but fuck it. Yeah, why not? We'll look into that later. Tell me how you are launching yourself out of this car.
I know in theory we kind of stopped, but like imagine if as we're spinning, Durrin or Merrick jumps out, and then I use the momentum of the car spinning to like throw myself out. I just fly past.
Okay, yeah, you're still in that like drift, like that fishtail spin.
Yeah, and I just like literally go flying past him. Oh my god. I was doing really well and I rolled 2 1s. 67 points of damage. And he's knocked down.
Yeah, he takes this huge fucking hit. You hear so many things break, and he hits the ground, and for a second you think you've killed him, but it looks like he's got just a very small amount of life left in him. You can see him like, trying to like get up. Cool, it is their turn. He's going to try to like, get up and attack you.
Attack of opportunity?
No, not Starfinder. It's just his movement action, so he only gets 1 attack. That is a 28 KAC.
28 KAC will not do it.
Damn, okay.
He just get up and I just like casually like slap it aside.
Yeah, he like raises his blade and then just like taps it into you. The other guy is going to take a shot off at you, I think. Ooh, that's not going to do it. 22 EAC?
Nope.
Okay. The shot goes wide. Durrin, it's your turn.
Okay, I'm gonna like tumble off the vehicle, rushing into the one that's like hasn't been hit yet, and I want to do a trick attack. We're gonna do a setup strike. Oh, nice! 18 on the die for the stealth, so that's a lot. Hold on,
My favorite number, a lot.
43.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Believe it or not, these guys aren't CR23.
And then I'm going to just do, I'm not sure if it's Herring Fire 1, but it's the one that adds damage to whoever hits the next attack on him. And I succeed. So I'm just going to be laying down covering fire as those two move in and, just providing support.
Cool. It's Cathan's turn. He's going to try to take advantage of that.
Hell yeah. Oh, you might get to roll my trick attack damage, Dane.
Hell yeah.
He probably will. Yes, he does. He whips his rifle off his shoulder. He chambers around with the lever action and braces it on the car door that he's on. And he's going to take a shot, and he's going to do some good damage, I think.
Cool. Please add 5d8 to that damage.
Oh my god, I don't have enough d8s.
This feels good. This feels like we fucking know what we're fucking doing.
Yeah, which only means the combat's very much about to shift.
Oh, well, I have a feeling whatever comes after this combat's going to be real fucked.
Cathan does 41 points of damage to... This is the one that hadn't been hit yet, right?
Yes, the one that had been hit.
Yeah, he takes a shot off at Cody, and then Cathan just, once again, like chambers one of those rounds with the lever action and takes a shot and just catches him just like right center mass, and he goes stumbling back. You can see that his armor has been splintered and shattered where he shot him, and you can see a little bit of blood beginning to seep through that hole. It is Jenny's turn. That's a nat fucking 20.
Yes, let's go.
You see like a big hand come up in electricity and just fucking punch him right in the fucking face. I rolled pretty low. That's 22 points of damage to that dude. He also looks pretty fucked up. As the turn ends, the gate activates. And there is a ripple of blue energy through the gate, begins to ripple and kind of warp and distort. And then it is Merrick's turn.
Is that some kind of teleport gate?
I'm assuming it's some kind of teleport gate. Does it feel like there's... I don't have enough. I'm only at level 2 photon, so I can't turn the light. So if I'm looking at this gate, Dan, is there something... Does it look like there's an off switch or some way I could stop it?
It looks like they've like built it into the ley line. Like you can see at the foot of the gate, or at the like where the gate hits the ground, you can see that there's cracks in that crystal that is the ley line, and it looks like it's been driven into it.
Okay, I'm gonna attack this guy in front of me first. That one's low on the dice, so that's just gonna be a 20 to hit.
That is enough. Oh no,
okay.
Sorry, no, it is not. It's not.
All right, but I'll attack again, and that one will be a 30.
That hits. I don't even. You don't have to roll damage. He has 6 HP left.
Yeah, that's like there's no way for me to do less than that.
Yeah.
So Merrick quickly just like cuts his head off, like just like he once again realizing something else is about to happen, finishes the job quick. Fine, head goes falling, and I was looking at this gate. Is there anything between Merrick and the gate? Like, can I just move towards the gate now?
Yeah, you can definitely move towards the gate.
Merrick's gonna start moving towards the gate.
Okay. Yeah.
Finish your job. I'm gonna see what I can do at this gate.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. No, Cody, it's your turn.
Move action, boost, and then charge the next guy.
Okay.
That's not going to do it. It's an 18.
That's not enough. No.
That sucks. Oh, that's me. I rolled a 2.
It is his turn.
Now he's not like flat-footed or staggered or anything from the last round, right?
Wait. Does everyone against your trick attack, are they staggered for a full round?
Not staggered.
Or
but
sorry,
flat-footed.
Flat-footed?
Yeah.
What did you get?
Me? Oh, an 18.
No, you still missed.
Okay, fair.
Okay, it is their turn. Did you ranged attack or melee attack, Durrin?
I ranged.
Okay, then he's going to take a swing on Cody. That's probably not going to do it again. No, that's a 27.
Yeah, I guess I miss. He goes for me. I just like dodge out of the way.
Yeah, you guys are just like swinging at each other. He's still in fairly decent shape, and you guys just can't find a proper hit on each other. It is Cathin's turn.
I'm gonna yell out and be like, "We need to figure out a way to shut down this gate." Cathin, Durrin.
Well, as there's only one dude left, right? Wandering around, just one.
There's only one. Yes.
Okay, cool. So I'm going to use my trick attack to make my way towards the gate. But, stealthily, I can still, movement while I'm rushing there, shooting. My stealth is a 29.
That is enough, yeah.
Cool. All right, let's try to hit him. Nat 1.
Cool.
Yeah. Is there any way I can re-roll that? I guess nat 1, right? I can't use rock or inspiration, right? That's only for skills.
You can re-roll
you can. Yeah, any roll before you roll, or... Oh, no, sorry, that's not a re-roll.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's Encore is a re-roll. It's a re-roll. Rock or Inspiration is you add either +5 or +2.
Oh, yes, true.
Okay, fair. So nat 1. I'm just going to focus. I guess I'm focused on the gate, and I'm just rushing over to there.
So here's what I'll say happens. As you are lining up your shot, it's an energy weapon, right? It's not ballistic?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, it's energy.
As you're lining up your weapon, you feel your gun just power down.
Weird. Okay.
As you feel the ley line beneath you beginning to surge with energy. And I will say that anyone who's using a weapon right now that has a battery, it doesn't work.
Sorry, everyone. Sorry.
As you start to feel... Actually, no, I won't punish everyone quite yet. I will say this is the first notice. Like, Durrin, you notice this happen.
Okay.
But everyone else's electronic devices are all starting to go a bit fucking weird. Cathin is going to make an attack. He misses. Jenny's going to make an attack. She hits.
Can Cathin do an engineering check on the gate
Sure,
or something?
Yeah, he can absolutely do that. That's another 16 points from Jenny.
Just that was what Cody was yelling about.
Yeah, he'll do an engineering check. Faux show. Damn, okay, that's very good. He looks at it and he says, whatever they've done, they've tapped into the ley line. They're using this to circumvent the pulsar. So it's not going to give them a lot, but I think this is how they're getting their reinforcements. Or how they plan on getting their reinforcements.
How do we stop it?
Smash it, I guess?
Okay.
Doable.
Can I get a check-in at this point? I'm assuming not.
I'll let you roll it, sure.
There's an I want to make an engineering check. It might just be the inner Durrin in me being something's off, but something feels off.
Something ain't right.
Yeah, 38 on my engineering.
You definitely know that, yeah, the way to turn this thing off, there's probably a really complex technical way, but at this point in time, because it's hardwired into this source of magical energy, the easiest and fastest way would be to just smash it.
Just smash the shit out of it.
Okay. Jenny did her damage. It's top of the round, Merrick. But before that happens, you see a ripple in the gate. As a single bloodletter steps out, he quickly examines his surroundings. There's initial flash of concern on his face, but that quickly melts away into a crooked, toothless smile. as you see the dark, wavering silhouettes in the haze of the portal as more bloodletters step out, interspersed with heavily armored Sarkisians. Their numbers grow rapidly, 10, then 15, then 20, and now 30. A near endless stream of mercenaries begin pouring out of the portal as the ley line flickers and hums. The smell of petrol fills the air as the bloodletters rev up their buzz blades, and over the chorus of the bloodletters' blades, you can hear the shoulder-mounted Gatling guns on some of the more heavily armored Sarkisians begin to spin up as they adjust the bandolier of bullets strewn across their chest. The one bloodletter that you had been fighting who was guarding the portal grins as he spits a glob of blood onto the ley line that immediately begins to sizzle from the heat now radiating off it. He looks at you and he says, "Looks like the cavalry's here."